this election is that, we've got to a point in this in our country where we lack a vision. Opposition as much as government. Government has a vision, Hindu Rashtra. That's, a majoritarian BJP government is going to go that way. And for those who claim high status. The underlying rationale, although not sharply articulated, was how does the present use the past? Something that we are still battling with at the moment. Why am I saying that this mixing of history and belief becomes a source of intense irritation to the historian? Is because I think the two things are distinctly separate, and everybody doesn't realize that. You very often hear people saying, but such and such happened. And you have to say, what is your evidence for saying that it happened? And then they turn around and say, don't be difficult, everybody knows. Now, this is not the historian's approach. This may be the approach of the person that has belief. Good luck to them and full marks to them. But that distinction has to be made. I must confess, however, that I'm a little puzzled by it because my specialization is the history of ancient India. I recognize that Weber was not a historian, but he does examine the origins of the present as in his historical perspective on capitalism. Questioning some of his assertions about India has made me think further about why I sometimes disagree and sometimes agree with what he writes. The various new emerging genres are specifically intended as historical and literary, of course, when they're written in that form. Insisting on the historicity of person and event, they are a departure from the earlier traditions. It's really a declaration of the fact that he was interested in these ideas, he thought they were useful, they made an appeal to him. And then slowly and gradually, when he saw the suffering that had been caused at the Kalinga War, the whole thing came back to him in a way in which he became much more involved in these ideas. Somnath book, I must say that I was myself very intrigued as I went from one set of sources to another, because we have grown up on the theory, which comes from the Turco-Persian chronicles, that he came, he desecrated the temple, he broke the idol, and that was the beginning of the Hindu triumph. Ultimate goal which the RSS BJP has, which is that of converting this country to a Hindu Rashtra. They have been saying this quite openly, that ultimately this country has to be a Hindu Rashtra. Now, can I say something about how I see Hindu Rashtra, because I think it does tie up a little bit with why I'm so concerned. Historians today need to recognize that they have a role in society as public intellectuals. This disallows historians from retiring comfortably to an ivory tower. Instead, it requires them to be aware of what is being claimed as history. Because it's fundamental. If you can change the textbooks, particularly in history, you can then justify your theory of converting India into a Hindu Rashtra. It's very dependent on history. Their argument is that the Aryans all originated in India because Vedic religion is the foundation of Hinduism. It cannot have come from outside. It has to be originated in India. Now this goes against the evidence that we're getting, linguistic, archaeological, and recently there's been a lot of genetic evidence too.